Yes, welcome back, and great to see some of the social from over the summer. You were over there with a lot of these guys having fun in Korea. They definitely enjoyed themselves, the Nations Cup guys that managed to get over there. It looked like a very fun environment and an absolute epic audience as well.
Yeah, it was good. It was intriguing. There is a part of me, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was nice to see one team kind of pull ahead on the final day, and also one of only two casters there that actually picked Russia to win it. So yeah. I'm quite proud of myself for that one. Yeah. None of these guys did. Didn't believe in PEL.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of people going for Finland, but then again, they're just unfortunately bottomed out with one of those things. Yeah, it was unbelievable. There is a certain part of me that wishes Korea would have won just to see what the home crowd reaction would have been like. You know, there's still that home thing in the back of my mind is what it would have been like. And it's nice, kind of like what we saw at the start of the FaZe Classic, is what the viewership can be like for PUBG, especially from the Asian standpoint, and especially from in an Asian environment.
With the full in-game backing, etc.
Like, it was just surreal. I know you've been there, done that, and been in these huge audience arenas, and you passed in the crowds and seen all this, but it was very...
Not for a long time.
But it was quite eye-opening for myself to be in such of with a mass audience. It
reacting
was
to the plays.
Because even, don't get me wrong, PGI was incredible, but it didn't have that level of audience where it was scream, scream, scream every time something happened. It was quite funny every time everyone's cheering for Ubah to die. That was comical, which you definitely could hear. But yeah, no, it was incredible. It was definitely good fun, and it was very wet, I will say that. I've never seen out like it. Looking out one day, and I've never experienced weather like it, where you could see everything. And then the next day, it looked like fog, but it's not. It's just rain.
Torrential rain. It rains hard.
Oh, it's mad. The weather was so humid. The humidity level was insane, but there was like 4 hurricanes, China, Japan, just barreling all over the
tropical
place.
Storms there,
and then Korea just misses it. It's in the middle. It's like, well,
monsoons, aren't they? Actually,
I don't know what it was. It was mad though. Even the runway and the morning was just, you couldn't see it, and there's just steam coming off it. They're like, nah, it's usual thing. Let's get it up in air, boys. Just crack on.
Just swipe over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, Seoul's a place I could definitely spend some time there. I obviously have them with. League of Legends down in Busan as well for World Cyber Games many moons ago, and League of Legends actually was there for a while. But looked like we had a problem with I think it was SIMSY. I saw looks like a headset issue or something. I saw he was just correcting something at the moment for the Desperados, so they're just sorting something out. It is indeed SIMSY. Looks like he's possibly good to go. He's looked like a headset issue anyway. I could see he was unwinding a cable. I couldn't quite figure out what the heck it was. It was either a mouse or a thing, but most of the mice are wireless these days.
Most of them. I've still yet to move on and transition
Maybe
across.
I've just done it right.
I'd like to do it with the...
I've got the Logitech pad and the mouse now.
The charging pad.
Yeah,
I'd like to do it.
The pad.
Other mice are available.
They're pretty hard to get hold of, by the way.
Yeah.
those things are rare at the moment.
The problem is that I like, with my mouse pad, I like it. Mine's the size of the table. I like to be able to lean on the whole thing.
You're a big swiper.
Yeah.
That's the difference, right? I guess if you're a claw or a swiper. I read someone. Is it Sombrero that made a transition from claw to swipe? I thought I would find out.
No idea, mate. I made a transition from frigging controller
to frustration.
mouse.
Yeah, which I guess is hard, but obviously you just what you do. But transition for like a claw that I've always done to a palm. A claw to palm is what it's called, isn't it? When you're full swipe.
Moving from a Naga where I used every single one of the buttons in MMO to something a bit more simpler was good.
But here we go, the first outing of Erangel. We are back to the green grounds and the home to where many of these teams began 2 years ago when the game first had a light. It is classic Erangel, I should point out, and it is going to be a rough plane, as you say, Rich.
Ever so slight difference here, the two main factors. One, you've got your verticality now that's provided by being able to clamber up and jump on stuff, ledge grab, everything else. 2, there aren't as many grenades. Yes, there is a factor where you can say if you kill a team that is loaded up and ready to rock and roll, then you will become OP because you can take them off their bodies, but you've still got to kill them first and basically remove them from them. That's why we're now seeing mollies. We're now actually seeing flashbangs used. I'm all for it. We know there was a problem. Is this the fix? Who knows? It's certainly already we can see a difference because we're not seeing teams with 13,000 grenades completely bombarding each other to death. The desk touched on it. We are expecting, whether or not this playing path allows for it, we are expecting teams to contest certain areas.
Yeah. So, as we can see at the moment, FaZe are going to go their standard spot, G2, TSM, all standard. Desperado's down on Sosnovka. Obviously, some changes there. Reciprocity are going to be challenged. I mean, DA wanted to be going Rozhok. They normally go Rozhok, but obviously it's a bit of a long drop for them, so they should be fine. NIP, standard adjustment for them, up in Lipovka. We know what these guys do. Raise Your Edge look like they're going to be sharing a fair bit of territory with N47 here. Wow, okay, that's a pretty harsh circle based off the plane. And we have our first
I'm
man
going to applaud
down.
that timing. Just
Boom.
tunes in to see him die. That's the second time now in 4 games that DA have lost a player straight off the bat.
Right off the drops. I mean, in fairness, the plane didn't really help them. They're trying to get to, obviously, to Rozhok, etc., which is a tricky area to get to with the plane. Bearing in mind where the night sign is and the NIP, it was cut off a little lower than that. Oh my God,
no,
6 way down as well.
One. Do I hear it?
Okay, no, mxey.
Thank God.
Well, Lynx is the man that downed him.
Because there's no armor, so even a couple of tags from that SLR.
He's got nothing, yeah.
If you don't find any gear in here, you can kick his ass from that range.
With a bison. Good luck trying to shoot him from that range.
If they lose 2 in that amount of time, that's a big feels bad. NIP, obviously that's the backup position because Georgia Paul was out of reach. Excuse me. South George was out of reach. I know ENCE don't like this. They've mentioned this before. It's not a fan favorite of them because it kind of restricts them. However, you wouldn't expect it to be too much because you're not going to rotate down on that coastline.
And Desperados, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe they're a Severny team as well, so they made a big adjustment as well, obviously based off the plane path. Actually, honestly, I think that was a wise adjustment to make. GamerLegion going for the territory. I'm trying to think who we had at Global Loot doing this same thing on Na'Vi and forced Na'Vi a while.
It was because there
was
was a
one of
team
the Aussies,
that
right? Or
pushed.
was it? No, it was the South Americans.
It was the South American team.
LATAM, I should say.
Because they pushed on.
It was the Argentinian guys.
I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
It's going to really trigger me now. Because there was one where they just pushed it and went for it and ended up killing
Everyone
them.
in chat right now is like naming the team, but we can't see the chat.
There's a lot to remember.
Press F for respect for the casters. Tiikzu, just getting a couple of shots. This is obviously in Gatka. This is the home of CrowCrowd, or Windstrike, previously obviously known as. So sticking with the same areas. They have been crashed by 7 though. 7 themselves. I got a feeling 7 are a North George team. I may be wrong in that. We'll see on the next map when the map maybe proves it, but they're happy. They've got themselves some loot. So tier 2 vest. A Bitloft, you are correct. There you go. So, and it was B. I couldn't think. I was thinking. Actually, they used to have a different name before Bitloft. That's why I was
it was Brazilian Crusaders.
That's it.
There we go.
That's the
We're
one I
getting
think
there.
it is. But yeah, and they became Bitloft. There we go.
It took a while.
Well, we've had a few weeks to get the brain cells refreshed.
Was it Brazilian Crusaders?
In the sunshine.
Because they were Brazilians at IDT.
Yeah, and they became Bitloft. No, you're right. Because Pome and
anyway.
the Argentinians. Yeah. So.
Oh God, events gone past. So many different iterations of teams and rosters all in the mind. Not necessarily, we can't take too much from this map. Yes, we can kind of construct where teams are going. Potential backup drops there. It was an extremely rough playing path. So some of these teams might not be at their home location, i.e. NIP. They're in a backup drop. Desperado should be able to get across the bridge. It's kind of the same mirror image what we usually see with Team Liquid. They're allowed to get over to Sosnovka should the circle be there. Na'Vi doesn't tend to fight early game at this point. They like to get their gear, do the usual thing. Kind of a gentleman's kind of rules, and that's why it was so predominant at GLL when we saw them getting contested on those little yellows. People were getting aggressive, like, well, these are our backdoor, kind of go away from here.
It seems like a contradiction to say the Russian team is not very aggressive early on.
There is
because
every
a lot
time.
Do tend to be, but they're not certainly.
They could kill Liquid every time.
Yeah,
there's a
when it goes to
circle.
Sosnovka circle, yeah,
and they never do it.
You're right. Yeah.
Which it's fair game if you want to do your own thing and loot, because they do loot quite sparse across.
And look at Desperados right now; they're going right through the middle of a 2-2 split between Na'Vi, but I think they're going to get away with it. I think they're going to be in touch. By the way, speaking of rotations, this is obviously a far western circle. I was about to say they weren't watching for a doozy, so Desperados actually pulled up on this one. Yeah, this is going to become a fight. So TomiL scouted in the distance there. I think they're just going to bail away from this one. But what I was about to say is obviously tricky rotations for the likes of FaZe Clan, TSM. Obviously know that they've got G2 ahead of them, so they have to pick their routes carefully. and then more importantly, be careful of where they go. Now, Team Liquid, a team that does obviously rotate early, coming out of Pochinki, are taking their favorite spots. And I say spots because Samty's up in Satellite Dish, James is at Radio Tower, Gemty and Ibi are over on the compound just outside of the mountain, Everest, whichever you prefer to call it. So some deep stuff. Meanwhile, NIB just went, you know what? Where do we rotate from? South George. Let's just go all the way up to South George again and go back to our basic rotations.
And what's good is that they're back on home turf. They've set off really quickly to get ahead of the pack from Lipovka. Bomb it all the way to the opposing side of the map. Plenty of time. No one's here. Continue gearing up. If they've got a couple of guns and bullets to work with, then fair play. Get the vehicles and go crack on, and now they can continue. They're inside the circle. Everyone's moving more towards the centre. So for NIP, they've got time to play. I think it's a nice little play. If anyone comes on that western bridge, they will be able to get a few pop shots on them. The only real kind of tricky scenario is if N47 decides it wants to set up at Cubes. And when I say Cubes, there's 3 bridges that connects pretty much Georgopol to North George. The most easternly one where you come across, you go off the embankment, not near the actual crates, but the next one along. The third and final bridge, there's the little 3 stack of buildings that you can get in. If M47 sets up there, you might get a few kills that come off the back of that. They want to take a transition all the way along. Raise your reg. They're going to go up into the north. Same rotation path as what ENCE crosses. You might get a kill or 2. We've seen NIP take 2 bridges before. It's not completely impossible to do.
TSM and G2, obviously, similar rotation paths, both military and farm teams, so inevitable that they will bump into one another. FaZe Clan actually might be finding Braexco as well. The rest of TSM deciding to continue further south. More importantly, they were just scouting whether Na'Vi was still around there. Jeems on the scout still. So Team Liquid decided to adjust and go together. This is based off the fact that Teme has just pushed the radio tower position he was in, so Team Liquid just avoiding damage there. FaZe Clan taking shots from G2, but obviously hopeful and hoping that they can catch anything out. Raise Your Edge, the final team to come into the circle. Steel, obviously way up in the north because they took a big northern rotate from the Yasnaya start position.
It's a strength and a weakness to Team Liquid. They are absolutely not afraid to scout further. Even when they have a good foothold in the circle, they play the next game. They play the next circle. Where can we go off of this one? Okay, we're safe now. But if this shifts to this location, if this shifts to that location, they're playing the futuristic game, which I'm fine with. But sometimes leaves in these scenarios where, again, Samt is the last man standing. You're playing in a 2-2 scenario now in 2 quite split and quite brazen scenarios. If one full roster rocks up at either of those compounds, you need one of those Liquid players, which they can do, by the way, but you need one of those Liquid players to go completely ham, clutch up, and take out all 4 players, or at least a few of them to help them out. Now,
look how well it's paid off.
They can now pick where they want to go. This is the thing. They may even come close to Gatka and take the 2, basically on the bevels of the hills. Excuse me, the bevel of that road, and just take the snake, control that, and really they'll just the gatekeepers of the road.
Rustanmar going down there in a ball of flames to the NIP gank setup. So rotation-wise, Team Liquid have gone satellite and radio, and actually ENCE are going to crash them. So Team Liquid have got 2 in there. Remember now, obviously ENCE just lost 1, so it's a 2v3. But Team Liquid, they're just hopping. Yeah, they're bailing. There's no reason to fight for it at the moment because they have the support, they have the hillside, so they're just going to get out of there. miikaz, he's going to continue on the field, just more sort of, I don't know, it's not, I would say peacocking, but it's not really. It's just keeping a check on exactly where they're going and making sure they're pushing out. TSM coming in now, so the Desperados on the edge of the swamps.
Some really rough terrain as well, so they have to be careful. Get out the vehicles and get ready to fight. Open point of view, though. Fex will be able to see them from the backlines. They have to be careful there, especially with the 6 times in the SLR. It will do a serious amount of damage.
Why would ENCE do that?
I wonder if they thought the other 2 was there. It was open for them. You saw Liquid completely evacuate the scenario. I don't really want to question it. It was a place they could have held down. It was further away from the central point of the circle, I suppose.
Let's just explain what's happening. So they've decided to not stick where they were, and they've actually gone to the compounds of Gecko. They got in safe, actually, in fairness, so it has kind of worked out. You can see the vehicles took a lot of damage, but they were so close to going down, and Team Liquid are going back. Back to the antenna hill. They're sending Ibby and Jemty back to the antenna hill, keeping that 2-2 split alive.
And again, the importance of that, it gives them a foothold not only in the north, but an elevated line of sight, so they can basically just look. No one can touch them in the field unless you get a belter of a marksman shot at God knows what range and take out one player, but Ibby can just be a scout in the north and completely control where people are going to be coming from.
He's trying to keep NIP away, who are looking to do the same. So this has worked out really well for them. N47, you can see on your screens, they've got reciprocity nearby. I think they should be safe for now. I mean, they're very much spread. DA, they're on a big rotate. They're going all the way around south, which is, I'm going to say confusing, because the plane was southern, so they're kind of rotating into the teams. I would think a northern rotate would suit, but they've decided to go south, which they know is going to come into the back of someone.
I really hope Raise Your Edge is geared up to the 9s. They were further afield than the likes of NIP and some other teams, and they are the latest to this circle. And not only that, they're playing their old game, which we used to play Your Edge rather than Raise Your Edge. They are distant from the middle of the map. They kind of need a hard shift to go their way, otherwise it's going to be a very difficult transition across, especially with the open field that Liquid are lurking within. N47 and Rec, it could be dangerous by how close those two teams are. This comes off the back of N47 taking the mountain. I think taking the mountain that late into the game with the circle wasn't the appropriate play, but nevertheless, I'm on a desk they're playing. I won't question it for now, but it has put them in this scenario where once they come down from the hill, they are stuck between NIP and Reciprocity, so it might put them in the grave for now. Further afield down south, TSM, very large split. Individual players taking the whole head of the compounds across from that swamps that's just up above Quarry. Circle has gone their way. Liquid, they can regroup. They're happy. FaZe need to move forward a little bit. 7, good position for them. All these teams that we're speaking about, though, NIP, Raise Your Edge, N47, Reciprocity, they have to do the work.
Well, NIP, I think, are going to go to the swamp edge, which is where Jemty's kind of looking towards. Jemty might get caught out here. He's gone solo. Looking at the map at the moment, so he has actually kept them away. NIP decided to chicken out of that one. So just a couple of shots from Jemty has done the business, but here comes Reciprocity. Now, where are they going to find a home? Well, Scoom immediately. I think he's lost a tire back there, but you can see he's in that horrible ditch position. Now, if Team Liquid turn their attention, they should see an easy shot on him. Shiv does go down to Gaxi. Meanwhile, NIP go for the antenna. So Reciprocity, they kind of rotated right into where a couple of teams have just set themselves up.
And that's because of that field. It's a really hard push. mxey somehow has managed to make it all the way across, literally center, and he's actually got room to breathe. There is playing space here. There's not really any hard cover apart from those stairs, but you don't want to play them. No one ever plays them, and for good reason. You go further up, you've got antenna, and then you've got Liquid just chilling.
Michael just took him down. Monkey's going to be...
Teams are waiting for that, right? Surely.
Well, I think he was looking, probably tracking, because he's got the angle there.
The timing of that.
And now Monkey gets a kill.
So much.
Good grief. Things like this, sometimes it just works out, and you can analyze, you can coach, you can do anything, but sometimes timing is against you, and that was just, oh my word.
It must have been a 2-tap or a 3-tap as well with Michael, because James hit the deck and was dead instantly. There was no getting away from it whatsoever. You could see he was waiting because he heard the car pull up, waiting for the player to step up. mxey spots SIMSY basically just cycling a grenade and catches him with his pants down. Easy kill and pick up. Rec have got a decent place. ubah has gone down, he's bleeding out the wayside. Scoom's in trouble because he's in the middle of a field with no vehicle to maneuver with. So yeah, for all intents and purposes, it might be a good position that mxey's got, but he's on his own.
TSM have just been a nuisance right now, causing problems. Now, Raise Your Edge and Digital Athletics. Digital Athletics took a rotate. They went all the way down the south, all the way around the edge, and came in at the bottom. Raise Your Edge, obviously Yaz9. Bearing in mind, it's Rozok and Yaz9 teams. They went all the way around the north, and came all the way down the northern coast, and got in there. CrowCrowd lose 2. They go aggressive. NOOKIE still alive. NBS is down. N47 the next target. They're in that ditch position, and that's the problem. Once someone's in this antenna position, you are kind of exposed there, putting the pressure. I think Tiikzu, is he the last man standing? No, NOOKIE's the other side of the road still. And we're seeing the shots coming out from the Knights as well onto N47. Where is it going to fall? It goes. Actually, a fair yoink, that one. Double crate drop as well near ENCE, and G2 sitting on the edge, quite happy out of this picture.
Really quickly as well. Double knock going off the back of Tiikzu there. Smokes are down. There is damage. If they get these players up, that'll be huge, but really, after that, there's not too much to play with. They can play the ditch and survive maybe the next circle.
I tell you what, though, look, there's really not a lot of compounds. And I mean, it ends obviously in the southern gap go on. The Knights got nothing. You know, G2 on very much the edge. FaZe are happy because they've got this massive compound down here, which actually might get pressured by the likes of Navi or someone. But outside of that, you're all looking at ridge lines, hill lines, tree lines, whichever you can find in this next setup, because it has took a relatively hard shift to the east. TSM, who looked golden. TSM was dead center. They'll suddenly find themselves on the move. Raise your edge. They're in the vehicles. They're on the way around the swamps.
The difficulty for TSM is the fact that GamerLegion are directly in front of them.
Oops.
So they can't go down south. They have to make the hard move up to the north. Links to get spotted. That's a good start. Stop any damage from the back lines. DA and Desperados will kick it off all the way on the western embankment. TSM will hear this. The more damage they do to one another, the better it is. Scoom, a decent obstacle that were in front of N47 does go down. So that's opened up a gap.
TomiL opening up with the AK.
Got to work for your money here.
Got to go for the switch to the mini. Can't manage to make anything work, and he exposes him to TSM. Rory lays some bullets down. He's going to go down to the play zone now. Everything is going on. Team Liquid getting pressured. NIP coming for the crash. Ibby's on his own. He's going to try and hop out and get something down. Back over to TSM. They're lighting everybody up at the moment. Team Liquid just took Miraku down. Miraku and Gaxi both down. Ibby gets the Gaxi flush as well. Meanwhile, ENCE, they crash into the southern Gakka compound, get themselves kills. It all happens at once.
Look how powerful GamerLegion is for now. And that's only up against this one. The circle, had it gone centralized a little bit more, it would have been in a better position for them. Especially with these compounds, you control that entire back defilade up on the hillside and just look up, and there's a few trees for a bit of cover. The level 3 building gives you a good eye line if you've got a scout up there or a decent marksman. Jempty has to fight the players below him. Sigzy might get lucky with this one. If that's cooked and trails, Jempty with a good option to run away from this. Ibby's there as backup, so a decent option from where he was earlier on downstairs to evacuate the scenario. But again, the fight will begin. Senya confirmed, and this all comes off the power of this level 3 building.
Fex just underhanded to make sure he's safe. Where did those shots just come from? Vestalov just got caught, but Fex goes down. It's Hamster with the Vector next door. Bjorn's actually pushing in. Mackinac finds Pokémon, the man outside. Bjorn gets the doozy down, and Na'Vi are in all sorts of trouble here. I think Vestalov may well be the last man in there. Gets spotted around the side. Bjorn can't take him down. He gets Hamster down, and this is a big play from Vestalov once again. Mackinac, the last man.
There's potential to get Senya up here as well if he's pretty good. Mackinac with the smoke to try and bait them away from it. Sigzy and Menox do the dirty though. Menox gets the final one onto T-Bone, so unfortunately for them, they will fall. Grenades going up and over, still trying to find what's left from Team Liquid. Snakes in the grass at the moment on top of the hill, waiting. Beyond from distance, that's stolen away. mxey picks up a point for FaZe. 7
in the Harry Potter have absolutely got themselves a golden position to pick up a victory here. G2 coming across the fields towards them.
Oh boy, here we go. Pre-nid, pre-nid. Please get it. That'd be so sick if it does.
It's gone straight down. It's got to be close to Braexco. Well, MBS is down there as well. He finds Yannis, and they're thinking exactly what G2's thinking. What the heck is he doing here? But 7, this is the Harry Potter we've seen NIP winning from multiple times, probably trying to get there themselves. But 7, all inside now. Oh, there's a grenade waiting to happen, I've got to be honest.
Oh.
Monkey catches Jempty on the pass. He's going to get himself a 4th kill of the game for Reciprocity. Not had the best of days, in all honesty. TSM, I'll tell you what, TSM have been picking up kills on the edge here. They keep on sneaking them.
Ibby finally found. There's your edge. Still keep on going. Only 3 kills in the bag, but they're moving up into the top 10, so that's fine for now. G2 in a bit of a sticky situation. The fact that they can't advance onto 7. FaZe Clan does have them at gunpoint on the backside of the hill, so you can't come forward. The only way is back, and the problem is that the Knights are coming in from behind. They've still got to make their approach yet, so here's your edge. This circle is a hell of a hard shift. It does keep 7 in the middle for now. It keeps FaZe very comfortable with a good 40% of the map to the name. Easy for them.
Oh, that's Braexco popped off the head there. Na'Vi, by the way, they've got 3 back up. So that Pestilage play, he's got everybody revived. And the thing is, they're pushing in towards G2. FaZe actually got a clean angle on everybody here at the moment because they're coming out of this edge. ubah up on the hillside. He has a line down there, while mxey and Fuzz have got the shot straight across the field.
Oh, this is going to hurt them so badly. Oh my god, they've actually been taken. So they're only one team that could do damage to them? No, surely there's another team that has eyes on this, right? Yeah, absolutely. TSM's got this dead to right. This should be the end of Raise Your Edge.
This could be 10 kills and counting for TSM. They're continuing to pick up the kills on the outside of this circle. Raise Your Edge totally in trouble. And they're just going to deny some points.
I'm okay with that. That's fine. Rather than he knew it was the end. Yeah.
They were going nowhere there.
Rather than give TSM more points, give it up. That's absolutely.
And when you think of that's 2 teams that were absolutely neck and neck throughout Phase 2, definitely worth denying all the points you could there. NELLOZ, he may well be next. He's just going to nade the car there actually to try and cover his escape. No smokes left. They've used the wall of them. Iroh's going to be the one that gets the knock and will get the flush. And you can see it is just a turkey shoot on Braexco as well. It's going to be FaZe that will steal the next one away.
When you got mxey standing and not even shoulder peeking, you know there's no fear. They're safe. They're happy. Just try and pepper as many players as humanly can.
So how does this work out? So TSM have got the position where they can sweep over the hill. FaZe, however, have to make some sort of transition here.
That big open kind of valley.
Yeah, it's a big valley right up to where 7 has stood.
There's no hard cover, right?
No,
You've got that one tiny compound which they might go and take. But once you go up and over this hill, it's just exposed.
But they're in the circle for now, so it may go towards them. You don't know. TSM,
ideal scenario would be it centralizes up and both teams will put out a place.
Or TSM just totally engage on 7. It gives them all the free time.
What happens with Na'Vi, though? Where do they go? They probably got the most cover out of everybody, right?
Yeah,
if they do make it.
They can just come to this ridgeline. There's a ridgeline here, right? Down below 7. They still need to worry about miikaz, though. They're well aware that he's still there. And remember, miikaz actually was the man that caused problems between Team Liquid and Na'Vi in game number 2. He is the new snake. He is the new snake.
TSM do turn up and they've got vehicles, so they can abuse that for cover for now.
Oh, Aitzy sat ready and waiting for him.
Oh, okay.
Been spotted by TSM. Who's going to find him? It will be Na'Vi that will take him down. So GamerLegion go out in 6th place as 7 start to get breached. And they are all inside this compound. That nade finds Crab. Buster's on 1 hit point at most. Second one comes in. That's going to get him. Buster's going to go down. He's not even going to get the heal off. Gets himself the kill. 10 kills and counted. TSM are up. I tell you what, they're on a tear today. Go on.
Get it in.
It's
in! It's in!
Oh, it doesn't quite do enough. It must have bounced off the bars. Couldn't quite get it in there.
How did that not go in?
It looked like it was on.
I thought it was in.
It looked like it was on it. I tell you what.
Oh, that's a cheeky position.
Look at FaZe. FaZe have completely moved across the valley. So they're coming straight up behind them. So 7 have got no exposed back. They get themselves Rory, flush out the kill, get themselves a second. Michael goes down. 7 are doing a great defensive job here. Get around the side. They get Iroh down. It just leaves Gustav, who's gone inside. And here comes FaZe Clan to clean up and steal all the kills.
And they're all falling one by one. There might be 10 players alive, but not for long. FaZe have come across with such a valiant effort. Gustav, last man standing inside. Random nade might actually find contact, to be fair. Aitzy is warned off on the opposing side. Fuzzface and ubah. They're setting up to try and get some range on this one. Finally, Na'Vi have arrived to the party. They might be able to pick up some points here. G2's laughing.
Got it. Look at that nade. That's going to... Oh,
the step
bounced out. That would have hit Gustav and Iroh. That would have wiped TSM out. But it doesn't matter because Aitzy comes in, gets Iroh down. Gustav's still alive, trying to keep them at bay. FaZe Clan have decided to sweep right out. Don't forget Chris is still down low as well. He's been watching this play out. The top 4 is, well, as you were. The top 3 certainly from Phase 2.
That's a dirty angle. To overextend to this point, to be able to lay down fire.
He's so exposed in the hill.
He don't care, though. The man can shoot. That's the thing. like, when you can hit shots like that with absolutely no fear, smoke will go down, and whether that just hides the tires of the car, to be fair, if that is to do that.
And now ubah's going to move up close. ubah's going to come across the road and say, Fuzz is giving him the cover. It's like, yeah, they're up on the hill. You got freedom to run up. You can see he smoked himself because obviously he was taking a bit of fire, but that freedom, such nice little teamwork there. And now Na'Vi are in a car. Na'Vi are going. Where are they going? They're going to go straight towards ubah. I don't think this is going to work out as they planned. They're going for Fuzzface. And look, ubah's just there, ready and waited. Just turned straight on and Fuzz with a nade. And good night, Na'Vi.
They'll turn their attention. I've no idea how, but TSM managed to keep 2 alive. But FaZe are here and they're knocking at the door. Chris, TSM, the last 3 players on the map perpendicular to FaZe, have to make a move out of this one. They'll use all the utility in the world to try and get some kind of pick, some opener, something.
Everything.
Anything.
Mollies, nades, the lot.
They've got one.
mxey's gone down. Michael gets picked off. Chris, look at him still down low, working his way in. Fuzz once again on the flank. And TSM, well, they've got not a lot of health left. Don't know how many meds left. ubah finds the nade. Michael, the last man standing for TSM. He's going to get spotted by Fuzz. Should see him down there. Gets himself as soon as he comes around the side. And would you believe it? G2 are going to find themselves second place. Can they get a kill? Chris is on the move. 10 kills and counting for FaZe Clan. And Chris will find himself. He's actually going to flush out mxey.
He will. Free point.
Gets a point. Tries to see. Can he get ubah down? Gets a free angle. Now they know where he is. Has to smoke his set position. Down he goes. It is back-to-back chicken dinners. And I think FaZe Clan, they're going to be a bit happier of that. Honestly, we saw the plays. If anybody pressured 7, like TSM did, we knew they could move, and by God, did they read that situation well.
2 wins back-to-back for a day number 1, and only in game 4. That's a bloody good performance. You look at what kind of the thought process and the thought play to do that when you have such an exposed area. Yes, teams were engaging one another, so they were given time to set up, but they took full advantage of that. You saw Fuzzface get to the angle that he was, pushed up close and personal. ubah could just sit back. To sit so brazen openly in a field and just pepper Na'Vi because you're so confident in your own shot and your own abilities, to be able to do that and allow the rest of your team to do whatever they want, like, I mean, this is why they're the best in Europe and why he is, for me, the best player in Europe.
And it was so well set up with ubah up close as well. It's like, oh, well, if they do push my position, you have my back. So they had the multiple cross angles covered off, and you know, the pure knowledge of that situation to say, right, you guys are going to get up close on the tower, and they almost picked up 8 kills plus there in itself. I think they ended up with 11 kills. TSM, by the way, we should mention, you know, I think they've got to be highest kill leaders today because they had another 10+ kill game there, popping off all over the place. But it all happened in the Harry Potter, didn't it? I feel a little sorry for 7 because they got set upon by multiple angles. I mean, in fairness, they put all their eggs in one basket.
Yeah, you're about to say
2 on 2 floors. Yeah,
exactly. If you shove everyone in the Harry Potter, then you've got to expect to get completely grenaded out. I know it's not a tower defense game. It's all right. It'll give you some level of defense and a bit of an elevated line of sight. Yes, of course, over to FaZe Clan, but you've got to expect when you're inside in those little tight, compact spaces, especially when one grenade initially comes flying through, you should be bombing it out of that window and saying, right, evacuate the situation, let's get out. There was a bit of a really decent maneuver. One of the players who was leaning on the bars, who did jump down and try and go for a bit of a rear flank. It didn't turn out in the end, but
yeah. Well, I mean, the nade in the bars, that was so close to going through from Gustav. Yeah, I thought it had gone in because I couldn't see the trajectory of it.
Unless it actually just sat on the ledge and we didn't see it.
Yeah, and it didn't do the damage. But
it was good.
With a bit of luck, we're going to get a little bit more words this time out of FaZe Clan with Parla.